Hey everybody, welcome back. As you can see, I took the engine out. We put it in my buddy Casey's car. What we're going to do is I'm going to take all the wiring harness out. And obviously this is a wire tuck video. While the wires are tucked and I get everything out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and sand this bay down. And we're going to shoot it the same color as the fiance's car, because we're going to be opposites. My engine bay is going to be the same color as her car, and her engine bay is already the color of my car. So what we're going to do is I'll show you basically exactly how I tuck the wires. I do keep the battery box, the fuse box, whatever, and the battery tray and battery up front, but the rest of it gets tucked. This will be a tucking on the sides, all these wires here, and all that crap. I'll show you how to do it without cutting or soldering a single wire. You will have to get a hole saw. If you're not comfortable with doing this, then you will have to cut and solder a few wires on that side. But this side over here, we'll be using a grinder, and not on the engine bay. I'll show you exactly what I mean if you stay tuned. But I'll show you how I do that. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all the wires out of their spots, which is pretty easy. My wiring engine bay harness is already in Casey's car right now because he's using my engine to drive around while I tear this thing down. So yeah, we'll go ahead and start doing that. It will be in fast forward, so enjoy the music. Hopefully it's decent music, because it's hard to find good music on royalty-free websites. So what I'll do is I'll do that, and we'll get started. Here, we got a blue and a gray. These run from the driver's side of the car across the core support to the passenger side of the car, which connects to that side of the wiring harness. So after you go ahead and undo the blinker, undo the ground, undo cruise control, which I have ripped out, we will have this here, and then we'll undo it to that side of the car. So there will be multiple connectors up front. One will be these blue ones here, and gray one go to these, obviously. And then these two right here go to the engine bay wiring harness, which isn't in the car right now. So you won't have to worry about those if the engine bay wiring harness is out. On either 92 all the way to 2000, it's the same style design. For the most part, it's the basic same concept. But on the 92 to 95, you actually have a little bit more, I'll show you what I mean, but you have more room to work with. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started on that. Right here you'll see that we have all of these wiring, these throttle cable. We've got the hose here. Once you undo this, it'll relieve pressure because this is brake assisted. But we'll undo these male and female connectors right here, and the last of the connector will be up here under this black part. So I'll go ahead and remove that. It's basically just turn these little clips right here, left to right instead of how they are, and it helps bring them up. You just do that to all of them, and then you'll have a few up here that you can't see because the light's shadowed. Right here, right there, all the way across. You'll just pop them out with a flat screwdriver.
Girls like
Okay, what you want to do right now is, I already have this pushed in a little bit. You're going to want to feed this entire thing through there. The whole thing. And then it'll come out on your floorboard inside, and then we'll go in there. What you're going to want to do is, there's usually electrical tape around this area. There it is, I believe. The electrical tape you'll want to get off if you can, because what we're going to do here with this plug is we'll no longer need it up here where it was. So we're gonna get all this electrical tape off first. So you see how we can't get it through? We're gonna go ahead and use a razor blade and cut this, and I'll show you exactly what we'll do. Carefully cut it. Works better with an X-Acto knife if you have one. Careful not to cut the wiring. Okay. Go ahead and get this seal off like that. Push the rest of the wiring through. Now what this seal will do is it'll act like a plug for this hole. We can go ahead and just plug that hole right back up, and we can take this and we can actually turn it inside out like that, so it looks a little prettier. And then you've got yourself a little hole plug here. But if you want to, just go ahead and do it like that, and then electrical tape all this shut, so then it'll be waterproof again. I mean, this is one option. There's many other options you can do, like weld over it and grind it and fiberglass it, but this gives you the option to revert back to factory if you ever want to. So now you've got a plug in both the manual and the wiring spot. Just keeps it a little waterproof. Now we'll go to the inside. Okay, as you can see, we're inside. And if you look up at the top left, there's this sound deadening crap. You can cut most of it out, or if you want to keep it, it's whatever. But you'll pull the wiring down. That's where you have access to it. Like so. Get this light noise. And now that you've got all this access right here to all of it, you're going to want to remove a lot of this wire loom and stuff, because it's going to be in the way here in a minute. So I'm going to set the camera down and show you. Ready?
A feet shook and I couldn't think over the base.
Okay, now that I got all that loom off, we'll go ahead and feed it through the spot. But before we do that, see this gray computer here? If you have cruise control, it has to be removed. You can put it back if you want to keep your cruise control. But a lot of people at Tuck get rid of cruise control, so this little box has to go. So go ahead and undo the 10mm screws, bolts up top, and this little plastic cover here will move out of the way. So go ahead and remove this plastic. And there's 10mm, and that is in the way of what we need, so I'm going to remove that real fast. Alright, now that we got it to this stage, we're going to go to the outside of the car and I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. Fender is off. To remove the fender, there is a bolt up here. There's 2 bolts down here, and you got to remove the sides. Fortunately, I didn't take video of that. Okay, so we got this little plug here that holds into the door. The wiring, it is a waterproof seal. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna feed all the wiring through here, through this little spot, and it's all gonna come out here, and it's gonna feed up into here, but we're gonna cut this spot right here out with the grinder, and then we're going to make it smooth so that the wiring doesn't get all jacked up because of it. So I'll go ahead and start feeding the wires through. This will be a sped up process for sure. Put it around here to kind of help it protect against the so it doesn't rubber off from the metal. I gotta get myself out of this place. Okay, now as you can see right here, we're gonna have to trim just a little corner out of here so that we can have this seal back. Unless you don't care about water getting in your car, but I do, so we'll go ahead and trim this up. Using an X-Acto knife is 10,000 times easier than this. I don't know where it went. Someone must have ran off with it. So that's what I'm using. Now that it's deburred, we're going to take the longest wire, farthest one, and that one's going to go up through here. That one is to the window wipers. So we'll go ahead and connect that to the window wipers. Alright, now that the window wipers are connected, the rest of these are going to go to other things. Those 2 are to the headlights for the whole car, turn signals for the whole front end. These here are the engine bay ones. So what we're going to do to the engine bay ones, we're going to cut these little keepers off, and we're going to separate those. Because these engine bay ones, I shouldn't have even fed these through. That was a mistake on my part, and I'll show you why. I'm going to feed those back through, and then these ones are going to go up through here. These ones here specifically, the male and female, go to the brake. If you want to, you can get a male and female and not even have to chop these wires. You can get a whole separate wiring harness. Just run 2 wires, one with a male connector, plug it into the female, run it to the brake, and then same thing with this one. You can buy the connectors at O'Reilly's, Walmart, doesn't matter where. But since I'm not worried about the brake light coming on, I ain't gonna do it, but I'll just shove them up in here anyways. So those will go up in there as well. So we've got these wires here, and those wires there. And it's a really good idea to wrap these as well, so that they don't get messed up with the wiring by the metal. Now that's what it should look like. The wires will not get cut because it has a loom around it. The other wires on the inside, that is for another time, in just a minute actually. So these here, they'll run about right there. The rest of the wiring connecting is going to connect in through this channel here. Normally on the 92 to 95s, or 92, actually 88 to 95 Civic CRXs, they have an opening right about here. I don't know why they don't have one on this one. It would have been very convenient. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it open, then the wires are going to run out just like they were normally, but through this channel instead. So let me get that done. Okay, now that that's all done, these 2 are going to go up in here, and we're going to feed them through all the way to over here.
So just run her.
Now they're right here. We'll just go ahead, connect them accordingly. If I can do it. That. And that. Now what we'll do right after that is to keep them waterproof. We're going to go ahead and electrical tape them to make sure water will not get in and screw up the connectors. Now we'll just push them back in there. And that's it for that wire. Now what you'll want to do at this point is to go over this right here with paint so it doesn't rust. So spray it, sand it, spray it, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to put Rust-Oleum on it because that's the best paint that I've ever used. So, and it's a good rust inhibitor. So. It's also what I painted the car with, so it's a win-win. It's good. Now the rest of the car, we're going to be just feeding these through wherever they go, wherever they're needed to. And what I do right here on the back side is I will take these grounds that are supposed to be in the same spot, and I'll just put the bolt in the back side so you can't see it. And this is obviously the turn signal, and then these ones here will just run like normal, but right through here. Instead of through the hole, they'll go through here. And it doesn't pinch them or anything, so it works perfectly. Let's get started. It goes through here, and right here, as you can see right here, I did the ground, and this one right here will go to the headlight on the turn signal area. This one here will sit right here for the headlight itself. I put the cable for popping the hood. I ran it on the inside, ran it through like normal, along with the wiring. Even used the factory clips to push back through. This right here will go to the radiator fans, headlight, turn signal for passenger side, and the ground. Now as you can see, this fits literally perfect all the way to here. Under this, we're going to drill a hole with a hole saw, and that's where this connector will go through. And that's it. That's all it takes. Of course, we got to cut out this side and that too, but basically that's it. It gets no simpler than that. And you don't even have to cut or splice a single wire. For the engine bay harness, I'm keeping it how it is factory, but I'm going to subsection each like connectors off. Like VTEC's going to be a long strand. Because the longer the strand and the thinner they are, the easier they are to hide. Also, the canister, the AC lines, all that's going to be coming out. Just unbolt it, and that's that. Because I'm not putting AC back in here. I thought I was going to, but since I'm turboing, I decided not to. If someone else wants to later on down the road, and I sell the car or something, they can do it, but I'm not going to do it. My goal is to have some fun with this car, turbo it, keep it for a little while, dump some money into it, and then when I'm tired of this, I'll finally get rid of this and then get my SRT4 I've always dreamed of. Yes, I know an SRT4. A lot of you guys don't like them, but I do. So that's that. Of course, this won't be gone right away. It will be turboed. I'm going to be having lots of videos of it going down the track. That's if I can get the money to get it turboed. It's kind of been rough lately. I mean, with our wedding and everything. Yeah, I'll be getting married on the 3rd of December, so congratulations to me, I guess. But yeah, we'll get started doing all that. undo all the stuff that I don't want in here, and then I will get started on this part over here and cutting this so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So I already cut these ones out. The GoPro's about to die, so I just decided to save some time. You basically know how to cut those out. Right through here, if you look right back there, you probably can't see it, there's a little plug. It's right behind this. So there's a bolt here, there's a bolt here, and a bolt here, and this thing just moves out of the way. Now you can see that there's a plug there. So you'll go ahead and pop the plug out. Plug's out. Right there is where we're drilling our hole. So what will happen is this wire will just go right through there, and it'll sit back into here, and then it'll connect, and everything will be honky-dory. So go ahead and do that. What I have is a hole saw. Not sure on the size of it. It's big, that's what I know. And we'll go ahead and get that hole drilled. Okay, so the GoPro died. Use the hole saw, make a hole right there. It goes all the way through. You'll go in through there, through the connecting. All this wiring connecting stuff will go in here and feed all the way down to right here. And there's the connector. Now you'll run the connector from here through there and then connect it. And that's that for this side. Once it's all said and done, the box will go back over and you won't see those wires. These you can tuck way up in there. They can just be tucked back in there, and your battery will be right there. So it'll cover a majority of it. But the bay will be wire free except for your wiring harness and the battery. All the rest of those wires are gone. So I will try to charge the GoPro up because I still have to show you how to get the engine connectors. They'll be going right through here. Also another hole will be drilled for those. So stay tuned for that. GoPro finally has enough battery power. As you can see, that's the mess of wires up there. That's going to be the result of it. And I electrical taped, ran over all the way over to here, right behind the gas pedal. You can see there's a hole in there. I used a drill step hole saw thing. I don't know what the hell to call it right now. Anyways, I'll show you the outside and how I did it all. I repainted the bay, by the way, as you can see. Just to kind of touch it all up, make it look better, match the other car. So as you can see right here, they come out. I used a duct tape. Yeah, it may be ghetto, but it works. It'll keep it sealed from all the water until I can find a grommet big enough, because I just can't find a grommet big enough for that hole. But your engine harness will run from under the battery box to the engine, and then to these. These are where the other end will connect that used to sit over here. But here is the final product. I will have the fenders obviously thrown back on, and I gotta still paint this right here so that it don't rust out later on. But everything's connected, and that's how tucked the wires will be. And this right here is radiator, so like it's pretty tucked. You could do a rye wire engine harness kit, which is pretty expensive, to make the engine bay tucked, or you can just kind of wing it. Now that you got a general idea of how to hide wires, it's pretty easy. But yeah, that's basically the way I do it, without cutting any wiring. And once I get the motor thrown back in, it won't be turboed yet, but once I get the motor thrown back in, I'll give you a walk around with everything running, and so you can see how clean it looks. And we got Casey's car, his engine bay tucked and painted too, and his car's gonna look pretty nice. So yeah, stay tuned for more. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know how this video was. I know it's kind of choppy here and there, but I wasn't able to do exactly how I had planned. With that hole, I had a grommet, and I don't know where it went. It would have fit perfectly in there. But since I wasn't able to find it, there's not much I could do. But as you can see, I got that one. That looks perfect, like, to me. But yeah, just basically now is just throw the motor back in and put the battery in and fenders on, and that's it. Everything else is basically done. So stay tuned. Definitely like, subscribe, share, and definitely let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button if you like the video.